Big Poppy, Clint Miller.
Ho, 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 Steve.
Ho, 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 here at the whorehouse. Alongside, to my left, we got B-Rad.
What's up?
How far would you go?
I tried doing it with them, but I don't know. I got to grow a little bit bigger set before I can do that.
The time is near.
Race fans, it's time to throw it up on the cushion and get dirty. Live from the Casa de Pork Chop Studios, it's time for Turn 5 Live. Now, your hosts of Turn 5 Live, Stephen Ovens, Clint Miller, and Brad Ovens.
Well, race fans, I hope you brought a notepad or some other loose leaf paper and a pen, and maybe even a pencil, Clint, because we might need the eraser as we get ready to play Musical Chairs, the Dirt Track Promoter Edition here on Turn 5 Live. Want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Welcome aboard here on Turn 5 Live, our first episode of 2015. I'm your host, Steve Ovens, sitting alongside my good friend, Clint Miller. Well, not exactly sitting alongside Clint. I'm coming to you from the Steel City Studios here in Monroeville, Pennsylvania, just outside of Pittsburgh. Clint Miller, Brad Ovens, coming to you from Penn Yan, New York. Clint, how we doing tonight?
Good. How you doing, Steven?
Well, man, I'm not doing too bad. Want to bring in also our man behind the mic, B-Rad at the Casa de Pork Chop Studios. B-Rad, Happy New Year. Welcome aboard.
Happy New Year to all of us listening. And it's just good to be back with everybody here at the PMN and getting 2015 started to a good start. A good start.
No doubt about it. Want to thank Bob and all the staff down at the Performance Motorsports Network down there in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. I'm actually a little bit closer to those guys than we normally are here on a Tuesday night, having a good time on Turn 5 Live. Gentlemen, I don't know if I don't know what we can really lead off the show with. There hasn't been too much news going on around here.
Yeah, we've been scraping the barrel for whatever we could find just to try to make this somewhat entertaining tonight.
Well, that we have, and we decided that we were just going to go ahead and get the big purple elephant out of the room here in the first segment. Clint, will dive right into it. News breaking out over this holiday break that we took here on the network that it appears that Dan Harpell is out at Yates County Speedway, and the future of that track may not even be called Yates County Speedway anymore. Sounds like it may be returning to the Black Rock Speedway name. Had a chance for the couple of things here, Clint. Steve Kellogg had an article come out today in Area Auto about this, as well as what we've reported over this break here on the Turn 5 Racing Podcast Facebook page. And at this point, got to speak with Dan Harpell on the phone this afternoon, and it appears that his plans will not include the Dundee New York Speedway in 2015. Reports a few days ago from former modified driver, and actually probably still current modified driver, Mike Jackson, currently seeking the keys to what was known as Black Rock Speedway. Then it was Yates County Speedway, now probably going back to Black Rock. Of course, Mike Jackson has put out there on social media, they've created a Black Rock Speedway Facebook page that, their intent is to be the promoter. However, that may not be the case just yet. Their lease has not been signed between Jackson and his staff and Dean Hoke. Spoke with Dan Harpell on the phone again today, and kind of you got his side of things that are going on, and really what it comes down to, Clint, is he was just as shocked as anybody to hear that he would not be returning to the Speedway in 2015. As any promoter and track owner will do in a lease situation, that there was a meeting between those folks to close out 2014, get all the I's dotted and T's crossed, and then make plans for 2015. And as far as Dan was concerned, their next step was to go ahead and get a lease prepared for 2015. They were supposed to reconnect with each other after the new year, after a few days with the holidays and everything. And then right before New Year's Day, word got out that Mike Jackson had intent to be the next promoter of the Speedway there in Dundee. So a lot of surprise and a lot of disappointment was what I heard on the phone this afternoon from Dan Harpell. And the theme that kept coming up, Clint, was the people. Dan kept referencing the people that he met, whether they were a track employee, whether they were a driver, a team owner, folks from media. That is where a lot of the disappointment came from Dan Harpell as far as not returning in 2015. So, and if you have a chance, you absolutely want to go over to Area Auto, whether you read the digital edition or pick up a hard copy. Steve Kellogg's article is pretty thorough and right toward the front of the paper this week. So just an unfortunate situation. And like we said, we don't know a whole lot of facts right now. There are still other bids that are out there to promote the Speedway. So at no point is any one bid been accepted, or certainly a lease hasn't been signed. But based on what we know, Clint, I know the reaction from Dan, who was expecting to come back as the promoter, was shock, and I think that's kind of been the common theme.
No doubt. Obviously, I can't comment on the on exactly what went down. Nobody was there except for those two to know why and the why nots. I from my perspective and what we do is mass confusion. We had a guy come out and tell us this is what we're going to do. This is the classes we're going to run, and and we kind of went with it, and then all of a sudden, now we don't know. And so that, there's that aspect. The other aspect for me is in the building cars stage. I mean, us as race car drivers don't know, what's going to happen now. I mean, it's all up in the air still. We've got two cars that we got to build, and nobody's really got any ambition to do it because we don't know what the season's going to bring. And it's very unfortunate because I know that we're not the only ones that are riding in that boat. We just hope that something gets resolved soon. This is a lot like a couple years ago with the Tyler Series situation and buying the racetrack. It was going to happen, then all of a sudden something happened and it didn't. And it's really bad for a lot of people, and it's very unfortunate for the racetrack, which seemed to be on an upswing over when Dan's tenure.
Absolutely, and the interesting part is interesting and unfortunate at the same time is Dan found out about this deal the same way we all did, and that's I think that's where you get into the unfortunate part of the situation is. The last time we talked to Dan, probably a month ago, right here on Turn 5 Live, was, he had every intent, was starting to get some preliminary things in motion because, let's face it, every day that you're not out there promoting and putting a schedule together is a day wasted. And at this point, it's getting pretty late to try and put that schedule together and get these touring series and Clint, you said it perfectly, especially for guys building cars, to not have in stone exactly what's going to happen, because even though, Mike Jackson has laid out his plans, should he become the promoter, if his bid is not accepted to be the promoter at Black Rock, who's to say that somebody else who, maybe outbids him, we don't have any idea what their plans could be. So you talk about classes that have run there every single year. being in a little bit of limbo. How would you like to be a dirt modified driver trying to figure out where exactly you're going to run? Because, as of last week, you had a guy who was, saying he was pretty solid, going to be the promoter, bringing back the modifieds, and now we're really not sure what's happening, because now there's other bids on the table. So, Brad, I want to bring you into the discussion, into the round table as well. I imagine your reaction is much like ours.
Yeah. Speaking of perspectives, I personally feel like it was a shock, and of course surprising to hear. I think I was personally pulling for Dan, because I really thought Dan could take the track where it really ought to be. But I always like the saying, we can't put the horse in front of the cart, or the cart in front of the horse. And it seemed like, this past week it's almost like people are pointing fingers, and it just, everything got real crazy. Everything got real crazy real fast. So as far as my own opinions on it, I kind of, I had a chance to look at Steve Kellogg's article, and I would say if anybody hasn't seen it or hasn't read it, really needs to go read it, because there's a lot of good points brought up in that article that, just some things that we kind of knew, and some things that we really didn't kind of look at until I read the article, and it really made me stop and think that, on paper everything sounds good, but is it something that's really feasible?
Exactly. To speak about things that we do know at this point, we do know, as of a few days ago, a release put out from Dan Harpell is that there will be a banquet for the Yates County Speedway 2014 season. That will take place on Friday, January 30th at the Holiday Inn Elmira Riverview. And Dan is taking orders for tickets at this time, as well as that event celebrating all of the champions from all of the divisions, as well as the top 10 in a couple other divisions from the Speedway. Dan will address racers, team owners, all in attendance at the banquet. Dan will address that crowd and give his take and his side of this deal that's happening, and actually a deal that's not going to be happening as far as Dan is concerned. So he will address the crowd then, and honestly, if you're a fan of the Speedway, if you're a fan of Dan's work this past year, keeping our beloved Dundee Speedway going, I would encourage you to absolutely take in that banquet on Friday, January 30th, down there at the Holiday Inn in Elmira. Tickets are $35 a piece. You can be ordered by sending your ticket order to Yates County Speedway, P.O. Box 375, Kirkwood, New York 13795. Other parts to this, like we said, there is a lot that's unknown right now. I can't imagine that it's going to take too much longer before we know just exactly what's going on, because whoever is going to be taking the keys to Black Rock Speedway needs to hit the ground running fast, because before too long we're going to be at the end of January, beginning of February, and it's going to be crunch time. As you remember, Dan Harpell had about 5 weeks to try and put things together, and it really took those guys until about mid-season before they were really hitting their stride. So it's going to be a tough task, and we've had some conversations with Mike Jackson, and if he is to be the promoter at the Speedway, we'll definitely have him on Turn 5 Live to talk to all of our great listeners. So stay tuned. We have more from Yates County Speedway / Black Rock Speedway. We've got news coming out of the Woodhall Raceway. We'll also talk Cocoa Paw Sprint Cars, Chili Bowl, and then later on in hour number 2, it's the Dylan and Dylan Show. You're listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Stephen, Clint, and Brad will be back with more Turn 5 Live right after these words.
Automotive enthusiast, have you modified your ride and want to see how much horsepower it'll put down? Look for bragging rights amongst your buddies, whether you're running big boost or a big block. RP Performance has your answer. Featuring a state-of-the-art two-wheel drive Dyno Dynamics chassis dyno, RP Performance can measure your current power or help tune your car for maximum power. And for you power junkies, want to drive a fully prepared race car flat out around one of the East Coast's finest road courses? RP Performance also offers race car rentals for all your track day events. Host your next corporate team building event with the need for speed. Gift certificates are available for dyno services and track car rental. RP Performance is located at Summit Point Raceway, just minutes from Winchester. Visit them online at rpperformanceracing.com or call 304-728-6749 for more information. RP Performance, your Mazda Street performance and racing specialist.
How would you like to win a brand new Corvette? Larry O's got all the details.
Enter America's #1 dream car giveaway contest at winyournewcar.com. That's right, winyournewcar.com. Complete the puzzle the fastest and win a new Corvette tax-free, delivered to your door. Come on, stop dreaming and start driving with winyournewcar.com.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
So you finally arrived at the sweet spot in your life. The kids are raised and gone. You have free time, and it's finally time to do something for you. If you've ever considered owning a Corvette but have been putting it off for years, now is the time to act. Isn't this the time to finally get that Corvette you always wanted and drooled and dreamed over? Well, grab the little lady by the hand and take her to Cooper Corvettes. They're conveniently located on Route 1 just off of I-95 and just north of the Marine Corps base. They have lots of pampered and well-maintained Corvettes in inventory, and if they don't have what you want, they'll find it. From classic Stingrays to modern-day cars, Cooper is your one-stop shop. And speaking of shops, they service what they sell. And even if you didn't buy a Cooper Corvette, they'll service your Corvette anyway. Become part of the Cooper Corvette family. Call them at 703-445-1483. That's 703-445-1483. And on the web at coopercorvettes.com. That's coopercorvettes.com, American pride and countrywide. You wouldn't trust your taxes to an uncertified accountant, so why trust your vehicle to an uncertified technician? When you have to take your car into the shop, look for the blue and white ASE sign. That ASE blue seal means the shop employs technicians certified by the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. ASE certification is proof that technicians have the knowledge and experience to fix your vehicle right the first time. For more information on finding an ASE Blue Seal of Excellence facility, visit the website at www.ase.com.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of Turn 5 Live. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are sure to provide you with the very best DJ and photo booth entertainment on the market in the Finger Lakes. Call Stu at 315-481-9700 or CreeksideEntertainmentDJ.com. Book your party or photo booth with Creekside Entertainment today.
Now back to the crew whose studio was named after a dinner entree. Here's Stephen, Clint, and Brad.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, Brad Ovens here, talking dirt track racing in the Finger Lakes and Southern Tier here on a Tuesday night. Clint, we were talking during the commercial here, and, you know, there are a couple loose ends we want to tie up on the situation, and I'll let you go ahead and start, talking about Dan Harpell.
All right. Well, I was sitting here thinking, as you said, that, Dan had roughly 5 weeks to get everything underway. Let's remember that Dean already had a schedule in place. He already had sponsors that were going to, come on board for that partial schedule for that season. yes, Dan had loose ends to tie up, but everything was pretty much in place. It was all in black and white. He just had to fill in the color. Now we've got no schedule. It's rumored to be a full schedule, and we don't have any idea. So how much is it going to take to start from dead scratch when all this comes about?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It definitely, and what if, okay, now this is something else you and I talked about. Let's put ourselves in Mike Jackson's shoes. He comes out on December 30th, 31st. I think you posted the Race Chaser article after talking to him that, okay, we're going to bring back the modifieds. It's going to be a full schedule. We're all hands on deck. Got a Facebook page up. We're asking fans what they want. What'll help this and that. Well, now all of a sudden, put on the brakes here because, according to Mr. Kellogg's article, there could be somebody else that's going to step in the picture here. So handshake agreement or not, Mike thinks he's got the track. Maybe Mike's working on stuff. And now Dean says, I've got there's some other offers out there, and we're just waiting to hear back from them. So Mike's the leading candidate, but
I did find that comment interesting in what Steve wrote in his conversations with the owner of Black Rock Speedway, Dean Hogue. I found that very interesting because, if Mike Jackson is the leading candidate, I'm just not sure why. If he's the leading candidate, why is there not a deal? I mean, Mike has shown already in less than a week, or actually about a week now, that those guys are full speed ahead. They're ready to go. So, the fact that it said that he's the leading candidate, okay, well, boys, let's get this done because it's, beginning of January and before we know it, April will be here, and that's typically when Black Rock has looked at having opening weekend is sometime in April. Sometimes weather has pushed it back to May, but there's just not a lot of time, and it's not just for the guys at the racetrack. There's guys building cars that need to know what's going on too. So there's certainly a lot, Clint, that's going to develop as time goes by here the next couple of weeks, and you can rest assured that we are on top of the situation, and and to put a bow on this, Clint, I just want to send a shout out to all of the folks that have been busting our grapes this week about this news story, and the fact that we've reported what Mike Jackson has said his plans were, and all of the grief this week. I just want to send a shout out to those folks, and because if we do know one thing, if they're there busting our grapes, we know they're reading and they're listening.
That's exactly right.
And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, so we know there's a lot that could be said about that.
Well,
absolutely.
You know what comes out of busted grapes, don't we?
Wine.
A fine wine here in the Finger Lakes. So essentially, all they're doing is turning us into a fine wine, which I think we can all get down with.
And Clint, you know better than Brad and I. It gets better with age, right?
Hey now. Hey now.
Hey
Mike
guys,
Mike Court came out of the bottle a long time ago.
We've got other news that we have to get to as well, coming out of the Southern Tier, coming out of the Woodhall Raceway, and Clint, I'll bring you in for this one because this announcement was a very, very big deal for the street stock contingent in the area because Woodhall Raceway has announced that they will increase their street stock purse for the winner to $400 per weekly event, with $50 just to take the green flag. And I'll tell you, Clint, for a division that did nothing but struggle, even on a night when they offered $400 to win, they still only ended up with 9 or 10 cars in attendance, their biggest crowd of the season. I believe came late in the year in an event that, if I remember correctly, paid something like $700 or $750 to win. But for a division that struggled at Woodhull this year, this announcement couldn't have come at a better time.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I think it's great that Ted and Brandy have kind of gone full circle on this class. It's been around Woodhull for years, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. There's a lot of history in this class, dating back, who knows when. The Wild Street Stocks in the West is what they used to be called. And, times have changed. The thing is there's a lot of money going into these cars. And to go somewhere for $200 or $250 to win, whatever it was, and I think it was only $25 to take the green, it makes it really hard to even want to travel that far, because you're not even making your gas money back for the race car, let alone your pit fee if anything happens at the track, anything like that. I know when I raced in 04, and I just did it to have fun, I knew that, well, you know what, even if I finished 9th, 10th, whatever, I was still going to have enough money to put 5 gallons of gas back in my car the next week. I mean, so I know that it doesn't seem like a lot, but it really is.
Well, it certainly makes a big difference. And the other part that we have to add to this as well is that if there's 20 or more cars on a given night, that purse for the winner bumps up to $500 and $100 to take the green. Now that was a little, the release that came out from Public Relations Director Paul Arkenreiter said that bumps up to $500 for the winner and $100 to take the green. I thought that it was $50 both ways, but in either case, even at $50 to take the green, that's a big deal. And we talked to I talked to 3 different drivers in putting out my blog that came out on Race Chaser Online today. And those 3 guys are in different situations. Jeremy Petrobowski, 3-time defending street stock champion at Yates County Speedway / BlackRock. Those guys going to make Woodhull their home track for 2015. Going to run there on a weekly basis. For him, I have to imagine that Woodhull being just a little bit closer to home made a difference for those guys. The fact that they've proven what they need to prove at Dundee, so now I think they want to go down to Woodhull and do just exactly the same thing. We talked to Dylan Cecce, who we're going to talk to later on in the show. We'll talk to him more about that when we give him a call in our second hour tonight. Those guys, when that announcement came up, that kind of changed their attitude toward what was going to be happening in 2015 for that team. And then the other guy, Jared Hill, who had the exact same argument you did, Clint, the $50 just to take the green flag makes a big difference for the traveling racer who maybe isn't going to go to Woodhull every single week, but is going to be more apt to go to Woodhull now, knowing that they're going to have a little cash to put in the gas tank to drive there and drive back home.
Yeah, and we've Carl and my dad have talked about that as well. That if something happens at BlackRock Speedway / Yates County, whatever, and something happens where they don't race, we're going to make a couple trips to Woodhull a month, just because we don't want to get out of racing completely. Woodhull is quite a drive, and Carl just doesn't want to race there full time, and but we do want to go down, and now it's going to make it a little better because you have 20 cars start a feature, right? You got 19 losers. So
yeah,
when you have 19 losers, they still want to get something to come home with. It's just like my purse is, the purse for bowling. You don't if you know that you're going to be middle of the pack, then you don't want the purse to be top heavy. And with with promoters and owners seeing this and making it a little better for the mid pack runner, it does help a lot.
There's no doubt about it. We're going to talk to Dylan Cecce and Dylan Potter in the second hour of the show about just how much that changes things for those guys, and maybe help them or have them give us insight as to what those plans will be in 2015. We've got that coming up. We've also, in our next segment, we're going to talk about the Cocopah Winter Heat Showdown, Clint. Just some fantastic racing out there in Yuma, Arizona. We'll get to that after this quick break. You're listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network.
On the other side of the break, more coverage and discussion from the dirt tracks. Stay tuned to Turn 5 Live.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue. Shopping around for your racing gear, driving from store to store only to find they don't have what you want? Barter's Racing Collectibles on Black Gap Road in Fayetteville, Pennsylvania has it all. The hottest NASCAR, IRL, and NHRA diecast, t-shirts, jackets, flags, and more. Everything racing. Stop by or check out their website, www.partnersracing.com, or call 717-352-2782. You'll be surprised at the selection, prices, and friendly client service. UPS, FedEx, and USPS shipping available. Farners Racing Collectibles. www.farnersracing.com or call 717-352-2787. Farners Racing Collectibles, where racing comes alive. How would you like to win a brand new Corvette? Larry O's got all the details.
In the Pits Media is proud to present its newest partner, WinYourNewCar.com. That's right, you now can enter the #1 American Dream Car Contest giveaway at WinYourNewCar.com. Complete the puzzle the fastest and win a new Corvette tax-free, delivered to your door. Come on, stop dreaming, start driving with WinYourNewCar.com.
Car problems? You can trust your local Cotman man. Cotman has a 40-year history as a leader in car repair and making happy, satisfied customers. Whatever's wrong with your car, SUV, or truck, Cotman will check it out free using state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment. Don't take chances with your car. Bring it to Cotman and let your local Cotman man show you why they are America's transmission and total auto care experts. Visit Cotman.com to download money-saving coupons. Cotman. Real service, real fast.
You know that phone call is going to come at the worst possible time. Right in the end of the game. Fourth quarter, fourth down, and 1 yard to go. They're piling up, but you can't watch that. You got to get that car off the road. This could have been prevented if you have taken advantage of Cotman's free TransCheck 21. Here's a chance to have us look at your car and head off any problems that could happen that could interrupt that game. Again, it's a free check. Come see us.
See Leonard and the fine folks at Cotman of Manassas, 9113 Mathis Avenue in Manassas. Give them a call at 703-365-7200.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
If you're a gearhead, you probably go online to those hot rod superstores, drooling over the chrome and speed goodies until you find just the right item for your muscle car, tuner car, truck. But what do you do when it comes to fixing the mom mobile? If you're like most do-it-yourselfers, you head to the strip mall parts store and talk to the, "Do you want fries with that?" kid behind the counter. Hold on, Bunky. Did you stop to think where those chain stores are getting the parts that you're installing in the vehicle that's used to transport your family everywhere? They get the cheapest suppliers they can find to sell you the parts at bargain prices. Their limited lifetime warranties? What a joke. Remember the last time Mom's car broke down? You heard about that one for weeks. Don't take that chance again. Excelsior Racing has the quality parts you need for your family vehicle. Parts that you can install knowing you're getting the best for your family. Excelsior Racing. Quality parts, personalized service, affordable pricing, fast to you direct. Excelsior Racing. Online at excelsiorracing.com or call 502-909-2034.
Hi, everybody. This is Geddy Lee for RAD. To many of us, drunk driving is something that other people do. Certainly not one of our friends or relatives would do such a thing. When you see someone who's had too much to drink, about to get into a car, urge them to give up the keys and find alternate transportation. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, you should too.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hey race fans, this is Oswego Speedway Public Relations Director Dan Kapusinski, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Turn 5 Live here on Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, Brad Ovens, talking dirt track racing here on a Tuesday night here on PMN. And Clint, speaking of dirt track racing, can't talk about dirt track racing without talking about the Winter Heat Showdown out in Yuma, Arizona this week. And man, have they had some exciting racing this week. Stevie Smith, Kyle Larson pulling off wins so far. They are racing tonight in Arizona. We'll get you guys some live updates before the show's over here as to how everything's going down there in Cocopah. But we'll get to the results in just a second here. But Clint, what a finish there with Kyle Larson, Stevie Smith, and the dude, Danny Lasowski. What a race the other night.
Oh, man, it was crazy. They swapped the lead out a bunch of times those last 10 or 15 laps. Slide jobs, jumping the cushion, lap traffic. It was intense, and Kyle Larson was going to win it or wear it on that last lap, and he definitely won it. That was a great piece of driving. That kid can drive anything.
No doubt about it. That was his quote in Victory Lane. We were either going to win it or wear it out there, and boy, that young man certainly did. And Clint, I made this point on Motorsports Madness last night with Tom Baker and Jacob Seelman. If that race right there doesn't prove why we need to see Kyle Larson in the sprint car, he doesn't have to go crazy with his schedule. But if that doesn't prove why we need to see that kid in the sprint car, I don't know what does.
No doubt. I've always known the kid could drive anything. I mean, he's won in everything. Look at his success already. In a year of Sprint Cup. He drives the car in a lot of places that other guys don't, and he's fast when he does it. A lot like Kyle Busch was when he first came up. And Kyle Busch is still fast. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but he just drives it where they're not, and it's just fun to watch, Steve. It's really fun to watch.
It absolutely has been, and let's go over the results for the Winter Heat races so far. Night number 1 was taken by Paul McMahon in the CJB Motorsports 51 car. Great run for those guys coming out of the box. I know that running top 5 in points with World of Outlaws is a great feat, but I know that those guys want more in 2015, and what a start for that team, getting the 30-lap win on night number 1 of the Winter Heat Showdown. Coming in second was Joey Saldana, who already has 2 top 5s paired up with his top 5 run on night number 2 as well. Saldana came home second. Lasowski came home third. Stevie Smith was fourth, and Roger Crockett was your top 5. Brown, Raymer, Bergman, Van Dam, and Casey Kane rounded out your top 10 there on night number 1 of the Winter Heat. Moving on to the Casey Kane. You got it.
The Casey Kane?
That was the Casey Kane. Old Blue Eyes driving the Great Cliffs ride. Yeah, you got it. Moving on to night number 2, Kyle Larson taking an exciting win. If you haven't, we shared the video to our Facebook page you're going to want to make sure to get over and check that out, because his move on the last lap coming out of 4 was just, like you said, he was going to win it or he's going to wear it. Larson got the win. Stevie Smith came home second. Danny Lasowski came home third. Joey Saldana fourth. And David Gravel the top 5. And Clint, guess who came home in 6th place?
I don't know, but I think he's been on our show.
The Kunkletown Kid, Ryan Smith, who started 19th after transferring through the B main, started 19th and finished 6th on night number 2 at the winter heat. Christopher Bell came home 7th, Craig Delansky 8th, Paul McMahon 9th, and I believe that's Dale Blaney, who rounded out the top 10. We just talked about Casey Kane. He came home 11th on night number 2. So 2 top 11 runs there for Kane. They are getting ready to run night number 3 as we speak. Race preparations underway out there in Yuma, Arizona. Those guys will actually, they probably won't have any qualifying races in before we wrap up here at 9:30 on PMN. But if we do get any news from out there in Yuma, we'll be sure to pass that along before the show gets out tonight. But somebody else who had an eventful trip so far to Arizona was Steve Kinzer. I don't know if you happened to see that, but the King, in his first return to a sprint car after retiring from time action on the World of Outlaws, went for quite a spill the other night. Got up and over the wall and into the boards, into the advertisement boards. So, to start off winter heat.
Yeah, I was having fun with one of my buddies on the internet. Steve Kinzer announced that he was going to Kokopah, and I thought, geez, he just announced his retirement from full-time racing, and he's going to the first race of the year to come out of the box.
Yeah.
I know it's not World of Outlaws, but he took a scary ride, and he was okay. He walked away, and he'll live to race another day. And how about our local contingent? Ryan Smith, 19th at 6, got a hard charger after the second night after blowing his motor the first night. Logan Schuhart went from 24th to 12th on opening night. He got hard charger. Struggled a little bit the second night, but he's made the A main both nights. I believe Freddie Raymer's out there as well, isn't he? With Stevie Smith and himself.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's probably the boy.
Okay.
Fred's son, Freddie. Yep. Fred's son, Freddie's out there along with Steve Smith. Yep, that team is out there, and it's really kind of a neat deal, because this is the first time that even we've talked about Casey Kane a few times, but that's the first time we've seen Casey in a sprint car, and certainly longer than it's been for Kyle Larson. I mean, it was great to see Larson get back into a sprint car and pick up a victory, but it was good to see Casey Kane in a sprint car, because we don't see him in a sprint car that much anymore. Working for Mr. H, and it's good to see these guys get back to their roots for sure. Yeah, you're absolutely right, and there's somebody that's not in Kokopah this year that was there last year, and I know he had a good time. It's Tony Stewart, and nobody knows what his sprint car plans are. But we still think about Tony, and we still think about him in a sprint car, and we can't wait till February in Daytona to see Tony back behind the wheel and going for another championship. You got that right. You brought up Logan Schuhart, and that hard charger on night number 1. I mean, that's a good start for those guys. Those guys are going to be headed back out with the World of Outlaws this year, and Clint, you got a chance to see those guys working, up close and personal. With those guys having some time here in the off season to kind of regroup and get things reset, what do you think the year's going to hold for Logan? I think Logan's development has come along a little bit quicker than Jacob Allen's, we'll say, but what do you see out of Logan this year?
Well, I see some good things out of Logan this year. They got new chassis at the end of last year. They're running the Triple X chassis. I think that'll help because they're going to have some support out on tour. They got their motor program together, and they're going to be going back to tracks for the second and third time. And I think that's the key to a lot of these guys. The top 10 in points that run up there every race, they've been there, truckloads of times. So I think experience is a big key. Jacob is coming along nicely. He didn't have the experience in sprint cars that Logan did when they went out. And I just think that as Jacob matures, I think it's going to help both of them. And I think both of them are gonna. I think Logan's gonna have a lot more top 10s this year than he's had, and I think Jacob's gonna make a lot more A mains than he made last year.
I think the potential for that to happen is there for sure, and it's not saying too much when are able to go back to that track for a second or third time and have a notebook to go off of.
You're absolutely right. There's nothing beats laps on a racetrack. Nothing.
You've got that right. You're talking about laps on a racetrack. We are going to preview the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals. I don't know if you've heard of that race before or not, Clint, but we're going to be talking Chili Bowl here in our next segment. We do have to take a quick break here, but we're going to talk Chili Bowl Nationals, and we had breaking news today about an entry into the Chili Bowl Nationals. They broke that news on Race Chaser Online, as well as right here on Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. We're going to talk about that driver right after this break. You're listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Stephen, Clint, and Brad will be back with more Turn 5 Live right after these words.
Here's an important message from Rad and this station.
No words exchanged, no time to exchange when all the little answer marching.
Hello, this is Dave from the Dave Matthews Band for Rad. When you go out and party, get drunk, then drive, you're not only loaded, you're a loaded weapon. When you celebrate, designate. Choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives and so should you.
What would you say?
Media sales professionals with agency experience. If you're frustrated with your current position, unrealistic quotas, and inept management, if you're a sales machine and you simply will not take no as an acceptable reply, if you're looking for a rapidly growing company with unlimited sales potential for commissions in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you're searching for a high-tech, forward-looking, laid-back, but extremely professional organization who appreciate your skills and dedication, we have your next opportunity. Scorpion Radio Group is building a sales team of self-starters who are motivated. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444 or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. That's 717-749-0444 and ask for Sue.
How would you like to win a brand new Corvette? Larry O's got all the details.
WinYourNewCar.com. Enter America's #1 dream car giveaway contest at WinYourNewCar.com. Complete the puzzle the fastest and win a new Corvette tax-free. Come on, stop dreaming, start driving with WinYourNewCar.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right, it's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette. It's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
Hi, this is Jens Scott from Summit Point Kart in Summit Point, West Virginia. If you're looking for a real racing experience on a real racetrack, come out to Summit Point Kart this weekend. For as little as $25, you can get your race career. New to year, Summit Point Kart offers the RX 250 capable of over 75 miles an hour. We're open every Friday from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m., Saturday from noon till 10 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 9 p.m. For more information, go to our website, summitpointkartwithak.com, or you can call us at 304-725-5270. Summit Point Kart, your East Coast karting center.
In the race of everyday life, it's nice to have the green flag. But drivetrain problems are the pits. A fully remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential from Jasper Engines and Transmissions costs less than a new vehicle and comes with a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide transferable warranty. See JasperEngines.com for details and get the green flag in your race of everyday life.
See the boys at Chandler & Sons Automotive, 45977 Old Ox Road in Sterling. Give them a call, 703-437-7300.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of Turn 5 Live. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are sure to provide you with the very best DJ and photo booth entertainment on the market in the Finger Lakes. Call Stu at 315-481-9700 or CreeksideEntertainmentTJ.com. Book your part of your photo booth with Creekside Entertainment today.
Now back to the Larry, Curly, and Moe of Dirt Track Racing.
Big Poppy, Clint Miller.
Ho, 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 Steven.
Ho, 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 here at the Poorhouse. Alongside to my left, we got B-Rad.
What's up?
Yeah, there we
He's
go.
He's going to have his hands full tonight, I'm afraid.
Everybody's feeling frisky tonight.
Steven, Clint, and Brad.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, Brad Ovens with you. Getting ready to talk Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals. Clint, is there a better midget race all year long?
No, not even close. You know, I just wish they'd get a full field for this event because they put on such a great. Oh, wait a minute, they got over 320 entries.
Oh, wait a minute. There's 324 entries as of yesterday. Here's some numbers for you guys. 324 entries to the Chili Bowl Nationals. 315 of those entries are confirmed with drivers. Those come from 36 different states and at least one Canadian province, because we know Glenn Stiers is going to be there in a team that includes himself, J.J. Yaley, and I believe there's another driver in that team as well. But just incredible. Now, that number 324, I don't know if the driver announcement that was made today was included in that number, you know, as a entry with a driver to be named at some point. But today's announcement was pretty big. Sarah Fisher will be entered into the Chili Bowl Nationals for 2015. And, you know, she hasn't sat behind the wheel since she got into team ownership full time. So this is a really big deal, not only for Sarah Fisher, for IndyCar fans, but for the Chili Bowl Nationals. This makes a big event even bigger. And you know what? Good for her.
You know, absolutely. I just read about that about, 15 minutes before we went on the air. And I thought it was great. It's great for her, you know, great for the sport. I hadn't ever known that she had dabbled in the midgets, and I'm still not sure that she has. I think, you know, this might be her first time doing it, but you know what? She's doing it. We're
Absolutely.
sitting here talking about it. Kenny Wallace is out there gonna drive it for the first time. He never thought that he'd have that. He never thought that he'd have that opportunity. You know, he's going out there. He says, don't expect anything. But it's going to be fun.
It is. You know, we were talking last night on Madness about, you know, think about this as your Chili Bowl fantasy team. And all of these drivers are driving for the same team, Keith Kunz Motorsports. You've got Christopher Bell, you've got Rico Abreu, and you've got Kyle Larson. I mean, talk about Chili Bowl fantasy team. My goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, they're guys that get up on the wheel. They're crazy, insane. They're fast everywhere they go. It's I can't wait because you got Jeff Swindell, who's 2 or 3 time defending champion, right? Or didn't he?
You've
or
got
didn't he? He didn't win.
Clausen won 2014, and then Swindell won from 2010 to 2013. So Kevin Swindell looking to be a 5-time Chili Bowl champion. And, you know, there's a guy.
And let's not forget about his dad either. Slammin' Sammy's been pretty successful at the Chili Bowl himself. His last win in the Chili Bowl coming in 2009. And, there's a guy there that it looks like he's also Sammy is a 5-time champion of the Chili Bowl. His first came in 1989, and his last coming 20 years later in 2009. So Sammy looking to get 6, Kevin looking to get number 5, and a guy that's going to be a fan favorite up in our area here in the Finger Lakes and Southern Tier, Tim McCready looking for his 2nd. Tim is a guy that put on a great race last year in the Chili Bowl. I know that you and Brad talked about that for weeks after the race. Timmy trying to make it exciting.
Yeah, you have to root for the local guy. I mean, that's just commonplace, and especially for him to come back and win. After having the injury a few years back when he went out of the park there. And you just want it. It's just that feel good story.
Have you given any thought, Clint, to who you think is going to be strong and who could be the guy to beat on Saturday night when these guys go racing live on MAV TV for the A main?
Well, getting there is going to be 90% of the battle. With going through all the cars and the prelims and making sure that you get through all those in one piece and finish up front. I'm definitely looking. Brian Clausen's going to be tough. Trying to repeat. Swindell's get around there. You can't count Rico out. I mean, Rico wins in everything he sits in. I think there's a handful of guys that can go out there out of the 324 that have a little bit more of an edge over everybody else.
How far back? And this is strictly an opinion question, but how far back do you think somebody could realistically come from the alphabet soup on Saturday as they get ready to work toward the A main? I mean, I feel like common sense says you could only come from the B main. I mean, we know that anything can happen, but I'm just wondering what you think realistically. If you don't make it to the A main based out of your qualifying night, how far back do you think somebody could come from?
I'm with you. I think the B main. I know last year, J.J. Yaley went from the D to the C, and then he did make the B, but he only gained 4 or 5 spots in the B. But I think C is stretching it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that gets underway next Tuesday night, and it's going to be interesting to watch because all of these different entries and we just talked about this last night, Clint. You think about this way. You're going to start 24 cars on Saturday night. Right now, you have 324 entries. That means 300 guys are loading up on the trailer and headed home before the A main hits the track.
Yeah,
300 guys. 300 guys are loading up. Thanks for your donation. We'll see you next year.
300 guys and girls.
And girls. Yeah. My apologies. And girls. I mean, that's just that's pretty wild to think about when you look at how massive the field at the Chili Bowl is. I mean, that is a field right there. No doubt about it. Looking at some other news and races that are coming up. You've got we talked about Brian Clausen having won the Chili Bowl last year. He's over in Australia winning races in sprint cars. Donnie Schatz is certainly having his success in Australia as he seems to always do year after year. Clausen is a guy that kind of made headlines because it doesn't appear that he's going to be back at TSR with USAC for next year. Just a pretty interesting deal to see these guys going from USAC cars to over to Australia to run the wing sprints there and then come back here to run the Chili Bowl. That's quite the talented driver to be able to bounce back and forth like that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like any of those cars are the same. I mean, even going from one midget car to another car, setup wise, it's got to be and track-wise, it's got to feel like something different every time you get in the car.
Yeah, absolutely. And those guys, even some of the guys that will even bounce back and forth between, running the dirt style midgets to, the midgets that run in Trenton, and we have Atlantic City coming up here in a couple of weeks. I mean, that's going to be a big showdown at Atlantic City. It always is. Of course, Andy Jakowiak coming off the win at Trenton. Andy J,
How
that's
awesome
the
was
guy
that?
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty. I'll tell you what, if you watched any of the highlights of that race, I'll tell you what, Andy J had a little, I think that's what they call a good stove, Clint. He had a good stove underneath there, because when that car come off the corner, that was a rocket ship off of turn 2 and off of turn 4.
Yeah, it definitely handled good down the straightaways. There's no doubt about it. And, our local guys had a good showing down there. Eric Rudolph he won a race down there, and he had a decent run in the final. I can't quite remember, but had a good showing regardless. But Andy J, our own ROC modified guy, that's awesome.
Yeah, and you and I have run into Andy J a few times with a couple of the ROC pavement shows that we were able to make it out to this past season. So always good to see a local guy go out on a national stage. And when we talk about Battle of Trenton, we also got to give a shout out to Jacob Seelman, because he had Trenton covered from top to bottom out there at the Rumble at Fort Wayne. Excuse me, not the Battle of Trenton, Rumble at Fort Wayne, another indoor midget show. He had that covered top to bottom. So good coverage as always over there at racechaseronline.com. Clint, we're getting ready for hour number 2 here on Turn 5 Live. It's going to be the Dylan and Dylan show. We're going to start it off with Dylan Cecce right after this break. You're listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Other side of the break, more coverage and discussion from the dirt tracks. Stay tuned to Turn 5 Live.
How would you like to win a brand new Corvette? Larry O's got all the details.
WinYourNewCar.com. Enter America's #1 dream car giveaway contest at WinYourNewCar.com. Complete the puzzle the fastest and win a new Corvette tax-free. Come on. Stop dreaming. Start driving with WinYourNewCar.com.
Car problems? You can trust your local Cotman man. Cotman has a 40-year history as a leader in car repair and making happy, satisfied customers. Whatever's wrong with your car, SUV, or truck, Cotman will check it out free using state-of-the-art equipment. Don't take chances with your car. Bring it to Cotman and let your local Cotman man show you why they are America's transmission and total auto care experts. Visit Cotman.com to download money-saving coupons. Cotman. Real service, real fast.
You know that phone call is going to come at the worst possible time. Right in the end of the game. 4th quarter, 4th down, and 1 yard to go. They're piling up, but you can't watch that. You got to get that car off the road. This could have been prevented if you have taken advantage of Cotman's free TransCheck 21. Here's a chance to have us get your car and head off any problems that could happen that could interrupt that game. Again, it's a free check. Come see us.
See Leonard and the fine folks at Cotman of Manassas, 9113 Mathis Avenue in Manassas. Give them a call at 703-365-7200.
Media sales professionals with agency experience. If you're frustrated with your current position, unrealistic quotas, and inept management, if you're a sales machine and you simply will not take no as an acceptable reply, if you're looking for a rapidly growing company with unlimited sales potential for commissions in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you're searching for a high-tech, forward-looking, laid-back, but extremely professional organization who appreciate your skills and dedication, we have your next opportunity. Scorpion Radio Group is building a sales team of self-starters who are motivated. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444 or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. That's 717-749-0444. 0444 and ask for Sue.
Hi, this is Jens Scott from Summit Point Kart in Summit Point, West Virginia. If you're looking for a real racing experience on a real racetrack, come out to Summit Point Kart this weekend. For as little as $25, you can get your racing career started. New this year, Summit Point Kart offers the RX 250 capable of over 75 miles an hour. We're open every Friday from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m., Saturday from noon till 10 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 9 p.m. For more information, go to our website, summitpointkartwithak.com, or you can call us at 304-725-5270. Summit Point Kart, your East Coast karting center.
If you're a gearhead, you probably go online to those hot rod superstores, drooling over the chrome and speed goodies until you find just the right item for your muscle car, tuner car, truck. But what do you do when it comes to fixing the mom mobile? If you're like most do-it-yourselfers, you head to the strip mall parts store and talk to the "Do you want fries with that?" kid behind the counter. Hold on, Bunky. Did you stop to think where those chain stores are getting the parts that you're installing in the vehicle that's used to transport your family everywhere? They get the cheapest suppliers they can find to sell you the parts at bargain prices. Their limited lifetime warranties? What a joke. Remember the last time Mom's car broke down? You heard about that one for weeks. Don't take that chance again. Excelsior Racing has the quality parts you need for your family vehicle. Parts that you can install knowing you're getting the best for your family. Excelsior Racing. Quality parts, personalized service, affordable pricing, fast to you direct. Excelsior Racing. Online at excelsiorracing.com or call 502-909-2034.
Now back to the Larry, Curly, and Moe of Dirt Track Racing. Stephen, Clint, and Brad.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, Brad Ovens coming to you on a Tuesday night here, as we always do on PMN. Getting ready to kick it sideways and let her eat with the driver of the Potter chassis, number 14, Dylan Cecce. Dylan, welcome to the program. Good to have you aboard here for our first show of 2015 here on Turn 5 Live.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, my man. I see we keep seeing your guys' picture updates. You guys are hard at work on the 2015 ride.
Yeah, we are. We actually have it almost finished up. We're in the garage right now working on it, welding up some last minute stuff, and then it's ready to get some thin work.
So, let's go back. Let's go back a year. Let's talk about 2014. We've talked to you in the past. Didn't have a full-time ride for 2014, but for anybody that didn't see a piece that we did with you right for the Empire 100, quite a unique circumstance that brought you and Dylan Potter back together, and it's a great story, and I was looking forward to having you retell that story to our race fans here.
Yeah, definitely. It was quite a few years ago when I raced go-kart. Him and I got together, and he ran a go-kart of mine 1 week, and he actually did pretty good with it. But either way, we let him run one of my go-karts, and it was that was that. And then, 10 years later, he asked me to run his car for that deal. So
it was really a deal of, one hand washes the other, and he's got a street stock, and you guys go and run some late season money races, and I gotta tell you, man, you guys really were on it right out of the box. Tell us about those late season runs.
Yeah, we ran really good there at the end of the season. We ran 5 total races. First one, we went to Black Rock on Yates County on their championship night, and we had problems in the heat race, so I started 18th in the feature. We got up to 5th, I believe, and I had someone got into me a little bit and cut the tire down. Nothing too bad, but ended up taking us out. So we went back. After that, I think maybe it wasn't championship night. We went back championship night and ran again. I got to the lead in the feature and led probably 3/4 of the feature or whatever. Ended up having a tire go down with 2 laps to go and ended up finishing 3rd. After that, we took the car to Woodhall and started 12th in the feature and got up to 4th. That was a pretty good run. The track there, it was pretty slick, so the passing was pretty tough. And then after that, we went to 5 Mile Point for the ROC race they had, and we just went down there to shake down the new motor for the World 100, Umpire 100, and we ended up running good in the heat, and I redrew the pole for the feature, so I just rode, and I led probably 15 laps or so, and Shane Wolf ended up getting by me for the win, but we finished 2nd there.
Talk to us about that run at 5 Mile Point. you guys, like you just said, you guys went there to shake down a new motor, getting ready for the 100. You guys go to, let's face it, an ROC Street Stock Series race there's no slouches there. You guys go out there and lead 15 laps and and come home second. I mean, you guys had to be thrilled with that finish.
Oh, yeah, we definitely were, because like I said, we went down there just to run laps. We figured we'd ride around the back of the feature, just get laps on the motor, and we ended up running. I started last in the heat, and they had a little jingle, and I got by everybody and won the heat, and after that I drew the pole, so I said, well, we'll just ride and see what happens. I figured there'd be quite a few fast guys that would get by me. I mean, Carpenter and all them run down there, and at the end, only one guy got by me. So
that last night at Yates County championship night, you just had an absolutely strong car. Was the class of the field that night. I got to imagine that gave you a little bit of confidence in the car, a little bit of confidence in yourself. Stepping back into the car a few weeks prior to that. Hey, I've got the rust shake. We shook it off here. We're ready to go, and I know that must have given you guys some confidence going into the 100.
Yeah, it did. Like I said, that was championship night, so we didn't want to get in too much of a mess there with those guys that were racing. I know there's quite a few fast guys there. Jeremy Petrobowski, Gene Balmer, all those guys are pretty quick. So when I got past Gene early on for the lead, I think it was, and drove away, and I was waiting for them to catch me, and they never did. We had quite a few restarts, and I was pretty sure we had it in the bag, and then the tire went down with 2 to go. So
yeah. Well, let's talk about, we talked about preparing for the 100. Let's talk about your guys' day there for the 100. I know you guys had some gremlins creep up on you. Was that anything from, what you guys were trying to shake down at 5 Mile with the car?
No, it wasn't. It just something random popped up. We had a carburetor issue with the 100, which we didn't have prior to that at all. So that kind of threw us off. We weren't really sure what the problem was. We rebuilt the carburetor there and still couldn't get the skip out of the car. And it wasn't too bad running-wise. I got second in the heat and redrew third for the feature and was just running, trying to save my tires early on. And I ended up breaking a ball joint on lap 18 or something pretty early on, so that took us out.
A lot of drivers have talked about the track conditions that day for the 100. It was slick, right off the bat, and during the 100 was chewing up a lot of tires. And in prior years, I don't know that we had seen that kind of tire wear before.
No, as long as I've run it hasn't been that bad. I mean, it's always obviously the 100 lap going to be hard on tires, but it was really hard on tires that day. Really slick. Our car was pretty good in the slick, so I thought we had a good chance of it until we broke.
And with you guys going out on lap 18, I mean, you guys redrew third, so you were still kind of able to hang out up front there a little bit, get a little bit of lap money before the ball joint let go. I know that wasn't the finish you guys were looking for in the 100, but being that you guys, you had the carburetor issue, you still came home second in the heat race and was running up front in the feature. If there's to be a consolation, I guess you guys have that to go off of from your day there.
Yeah, it was, as far as the racing and the car went, I mean, the car was handling perfect as far as that went. We just had a few problems that slowed us down there, and it definitely wasn't very fun at the time, but looking back on it, we did have a good car. If it wasn't for the problems, I'm sure we would have been right up front at the end.
We talked earlier this week. I mean, you guys, as late as a few weeks ago, we're still kind of ironing out what the plans are going to be for 2015 and talking back and forth with your car owner, Dylan Potter. And then all of a sudden, here comes Woodhall Raceway with an announcement that they've increased the purse for 2015 and they're going to up the ante a bit for the street stock drivers there. Maybe not even just specifically your guys' plans, but just as a street stock driver in general, I mean that's a pretty big deal for that division there. I mean they had their struggles with numbers, but now this increased purse, that's a big deal for those guys.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, it definitely made our mind up. We're 95% sure we're going to run there weekly. It's the closest track to us. I'm not sure what's going on with Black Rock now, if they're still going to do the 500 to win every week. If not, then we'll definitely be at Woodhall every week.
Because for you guys, I mean, I know Dylan comes out of the Pennsylvania area. Woodhall is really going to be your guys' closest option. I mean, Dundee would be a little bit further of a haul.
Yeah, definitely. Woodhall is the closest track, so with them paying what they're paying, it's a no-brainer to go there.
Well, that's good, because I think this news with Woodhall is going to have a lot of guys like yourself in that same exact position. Whether it's closer or just the fact that, you know for sure what you're going to get and how you're going to get it at Woodhull. We're still kind of up in the air with things at Black Rock Speedway, but Woodhull Raceway, not an easy track to get around. I mean, you've got two almost completely different turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 down there. Talk about the challenges of trying to get around that place.
Yeah, Woodhull's a lot tougher than Black Rock. It's just a smaller track. The high bank, I've got 1 or 2 wins there, but I still feel like I struggle there when I go. I have a lot to learn, but hopefully racing there more will help me out with it. Once I get a full season in there, maybe it'll be a little bit like racing at Black Rock.
Well, that we certainly hope so, because we want to see that Potter chassis going to the front. And with that, we're going to continue our discussion with Dylan Cecce here on Turn 5 Live. Right after this quick commercial break, you're listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Stephen, Clint, and Brad will be back with more Turn 5 Live right after these words.
Hi, this is Jens Scott from Summit Point Kart in Summit Point, West Virginia. If you're looking for a real racing experience on a real racetrack, come out to Summit Point Kart this weekend. For as little as $25, you can get your racing career started. New this year, Summit Point Kart offers the RX 250 capable of over 75 miles an hour. We're open every Friday from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m., Saturday from noon till 10 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 9 p.m. For more information, go to our website, summitpointkartwithak.com, or you can call us at 304-725-5270. Summit Point Kart, your East Coast karting center.
In the race of everyday life, it's nice to have the green flag. But drivetrain problems are the pits. A fully remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential from Jasper Engines and Transmissions costs less than a new vehicle and comes with a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide transferable warranty. See JasperEngines.com for details and get the green flag in your race of everyday life.
See the boys at Chandler & Sons Automotive, 45977 Old Ox Road in Sterling. Give them a call, 703-437-7300.
Ever hire, never quit. Lofty goals in this age of shoddy quality, corporate indifference, and built-in obsolescence. It's a beacon of light in a crowded field of mediocrity. The way a company is run is an indication of how you, the customer, is going to be treated. You have a lot of choices when you're searching for auto and performance parts online and at the corner parts store. So why should you buy from Excelsior Racing? Because they're simply the best online parts supplier in the business. If you're looking for selection, ease of ordering, cost, and prompt delivery, look no further. If you have a question, our customer service hotline, staffed by knowledgeable gearheads like you, will ensure that you get what you need to fix or mod your car or truck. With 1,000 suppliers, you're guaranteed to get what you need. First time, every time. Excelsior Racing. Excellence on the track. Excellence on the road. Excellence in customer service. Online at ExcelsiorRacing.com or call 502-909-2034.
For 17 years, Stock Car Steel has been a leading materials supplier to the racing industry. Now they're also an official motorsports content partner of Race Chaser Online. The biggest names in NASCAR trust Stock Car Steel for all their raw materials, such as carbon steel, chrome moly, DOM, aluminum, plastics, and much, much more. You can't build a race car without the basic materials, and Stock Car Steel is the place to get them. Don't forget to also visit Stock Car Steel's sister company, SRI Supplies, for racing and industry. SRI is your #1 source for all your shop supply needs. Nuts, bolts, rivets, tapes, adhesives, cutting tools, chemicals, body shop supplies, paint shop supplies, lubricants, and more. A well-stocked race shop is a winning race shop, and the road to winning begins with 3 letters, SRI. For more information, visit StockCarSteel.com and SRI-supplies.com. You can also find them on Facebook at Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, or call either company toll-free at 1-888-752-7272.
Motorsports Sales Professionals. Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated's Performance Motorsports Network is looking to build a team of experienced media sales professionals to represent our motorsports programming to the industry's top companies, magazines, and racing series. If you have motorsports sales or marketing experience, know how to work with agencies, understand social media, and are incredibly creative when it comes to working with clients and promotions, then we want to hear from you. Top performers are richly rewarded. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444 or email Sue at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. That's 717 749-0444 or email Sue at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, I'm Melissa Etheridge for RAD, Recording Artist Against Drunk Driving. Your lifestyle is your business, but when you drive drunk, you become everyone's business. Don't drink and drive. Be responsible. Choose a designated driver. Music lives, and so should you. Please, don't drink and drive.
Welcome back to Turn 5 Live. Here's Stephen, Clint, and Brad.
Talking dirt track racing here on Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Brad Ovens, Clint Miller here talking dirt track racing with street stock driver Dylan Cecce, driving the Dylan Potter chassis house car. And, Dylan, that's a question that I did want to ask you. You guys are, about 95% sure you guys are going to be going to Woodhull. But let's talk about the car that you're going to be driving. You're going to be driving a Potter chassis. I know that, that was the chassis you guys have a new one built for this season, but the one you were driving at the end of the year, talk to us about the differences. Is there any difference that you felt from the driver's seat, and if so, what felt different when the Potter chassis?
Oh, I've only driven a few street stocks, so I don't really have a big opinion on it. But when I jumped in his car, it had a great balance. I mean, it would turn great, but it would still have a ton of forward bite. Even with the track as real slick, the car had a ton of forward bite. So that was probably one of the biggest things that I really liked about getting into his car. I didn't feel like I was lacking forward bite.
And that's really, especially on some of the tracks that we tend to see in this area where it fairly easily can get slick on you. That forward bite is everything.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're hooking the car up, you're going to pass the guy that isn't, so it helps.
For sure. And let's, I know you guys have been hard at work on that car, getting ready to put the tin on it. What are we looking at for this year? We got color schemes and everything getting ready to go here?
We're just going to go with red and black. We have red interior, and then the outside's going to be black.
Cool, good deal. Well, I know that it takes a lot of support to keep that out there and to keep running strong. And we always give folks that we bring on the show an opportunity to talk about all the folks behind them.
Yeah, definitely. I got to thank Dylan Potter at Potter Chassis. He builds the car. He gets them working good. You just have to drive it. Stapleton engines. They have an awesome motor. We're not lacking any horsepower, that's for sure. Dylan's dad, he helps out a lot in the garage. My mom and dad, and my girlfriend, Corinne, she lets me do this stuff. So everybody that helps out, there's some more people as far as my family goes that helps out, and Dylan's family that helps him and lets him be out here in the garage. His girlfriend or his fiance that lets him be out here working on the car all the time. So definitely those people. And
I know that I know your little guy is he getting old enough now where he knows that Dad drives a race car, and what's he think about that?
Oh, not yet. He's not quite old enough, but racing at Woodhull is going to be another good thing of that. We have a booth at Woodhull, so he can go to the track every week and watch. So that's going to be another plus about going there. He'll be able to watch me every week.
Oh, that's great, man. That's everyone says that's one of the joys in life is being able to take the family to the races and enjoying it. And certainly the Hartman family is no stranger to racing and racing at the Woodhull Raceway. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. They help me out a lot too.
All right, man. Well, we certainly appreciate your time coming on the show tonight and talking about you guys' plans coming together for 2015, and we'll see you at the. I assume at the mall show, and if not there, certainly at the racetrack. That's for sure.
Yep, we're going to try and make the mall show, so hopefully we'll see you guys there.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate your time. That's Dylan Cecce getting ready for the 2015 campaign out at the Woodhull Raceway. And Brad, I want to bring you in here, and we'll talk Dylan Cecce for a second here. When his last full season run, when he was running the 93 car, I mean, Dylan's one of those guys that I really feel like you can set that kid into anything, and he can make it go around. I mean, when you think of some of the best dirt modified drivers that are on the scene right now, I'd almost compare, Dylan being able to drive anything to like Matt Shepard. Matt Shepard, you can put him in anything. They put him in a Troyer this past season, and and he darn near won the Super Dirt Series title. Dylan's another one of those guys that it just doesn't seem to matter what you put him in. He can drive it and take it to the front.
Absolutely. It kind of makes me think of a couple guys with the last name goes by Johnson. Danny and Alan Johnson. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, small block, big block. I mean, you could probably even put one of them in a Sportsman in a small block race and still be able to come away with the top 5 with it. Just really, really good behind the steering wheel. Has a good understanding of it, and for somebody who came up through the ranks of, like he was saying, go-karts, and then moved into the same division that you and I had the great opportunity to run in with the Bandits at Black Rock. I love watching the guy race, and I think we're gonna have to make some trips down to Woodhall this year to see some really great street stock racing.
You're absolutely right about that. And the other cool thing, while we were talking about Dylan too, is he's an outstanding street stock driver. But here's the thing though. He's almost an even better RC race, driver. I mean, a lot of these dirt guys that we know about that do the RC racing, you think of Rocky Warner. I saw a post a few weeks ago about Stuart Friesen trying his hand at the RC car level. And, Dylan's a prolific RC car driver as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that has a lot to say for their smoothness, their ability to handle something that has a micro-sensitive touch to it. Having that ability to make an adjustment without overcorrecting it and getting yourself crossed up. I think that in general, just an overall sense of really in-depth understanding of car control and how to put power to the ground.
Absolutely. And like we were talking about, a lot of the racetracks, here locally, the bread and butter is really that dry slick. And if you can get hooked up on the dry slick, and like Dylan was saying, getting that forward drive, I mean, that's everything with these guys.
Absolutely.
Woodhall's no different.
Absolutely. And, it's funny because I still have conversations with people who think racing is just this little hobby you go out and do, and you get in a car and you turn it left and turn it right and put the pedal to the floor and you're just racing as fast as you can. And I just, it floors me sometimes, but I mean, after so long, you kind of get used to it and kind of just, you can tell who knows what they're talking about and who really sometimes doesn't. But, it's almost comparable for us being up here in the Northeast, up here in the Finger Lakes region. Well, most winters we actually have some snow during the winter, and I tell people it's comparable to like driving in the snow. Somebody will say, "Oh, the roads are slick." There was a quarter of an inch of snow, and there was a little layer of ice. It was almost impossible to drive on, and it makes me laugh because these are the same people that are saying, "Oh, it's just turning the car left and putting the accelerator all the way to the floor." It makes me laugh every time I hear it, just for the simple fact of, it's kind of, I don't know how you want to say it, but I think it's comparable, and in my opinion, if you want to drive in the snow, you need to know where the limit is between the traction and losing the grip with the tires to the road. But I think they're going to do good this year. That Potter chassis, I think they're going to have some stiff competition this year with all those Potter chassis they've been cranking out this year, though.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Potter chassis won the Empire 100 this year.
It did.
With Kurt Stebbins, and I'll tell you, that move that Stebbins made in 3 and 4, if that doesn't speak to the quality of the ride there, I don't know what does, because when he dove down into the corner and made that move on Gene Balmer to take the lead, that was one that I will remember for many years to come. What a great race that was.
It was.
Brad, you were talking about Woodhall. Let's kind of put a bow on that Woodhall discussion. in your opinion, how big of a deal is this announcement for those guys running down there, running for 400 to win a week? And if they get enough cars, maybe even 500 to win a week.
I think this is good. I mean, I will stand and tip my cap to Ted White and the whole Woodhall staff for implementing this new rule. I think it was a big eye opener for maybe a few tracks or a few track owners, promoters that, if you put the money out there, you're gonna get the car count, and especially with Yates County this year having 500 to win weekly, I think the average car count was at least 20 cars a night. So for a track that had some struggles with that particular class, I really applaud it, and we all know that there's a lot of guys that'll go down and run Woodhall, and I think we're going to see all those guys come out of the woods to say.
Well, you got to give them credit, because above all else, if the increased purse doesn't bring them back and doesn't help revive that division, then at that point, I don't know what else they can do, because they've made rule adjustments to try and align themselves with a couple other tracks locally. Now they're increased their purse, not only to win, but also to start.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't do it, I don't know what will.
I kind of like it when the meteorologists say we've got all the right conditions for the perfect storm. And I think Ted White and the Woodhall Raceway has given all of the right conditions to have the perfect storm for 2015.
You got that right. We're going to talk more Woodhall Raceway, and we're going to talk street stock chassis with chassis builder Dylan Potter right after this quick break. You're listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Stephen, Clint, and Brad will be back with more Turn 5 Live right after these words.
Hi, this is Jens Scott from Summit Point Kart in Summit Point, West Virginia. If you're looking for a real racing experience on a real racetrack, come out to Summit Point Kart this weekend. For as little as $25, you can get your racing career started. New this year, Summit Point Kart offers the RX 250 capable of over 75 miles an hour. We're open every Friday from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m., Saturday from noon till 10 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 9 p.m. For more information, go to our website, summitpointkartwithak.com, or you can call us at 304-725-5270. Summit Point Kart, your East Coast karting center.
How would you like to win a brand new Corvette? Larry O's got all the details.
Enter America's #1 dream car giveaway contest at winyournewcar.com. That's right, winyournewcar.com. Complete the puzzle the fastest and win a new Corvette tax-free, delivered to your door. Come on, stop dreaming and start driving with winyournewcar.com.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
So you finally arrived at the sweet spot in your life. The kids are raised and gone. You have free time, and it's finally time to do something for you. If you've ever considered owning a Corvette but have been putting it off for years, now is the time to act. Isn't this the time to finally get that Corvette you always wanted and drooled and dreamed over? Well, grab the little lady by the hand and take her to Cooper Corvettes. They're conveniently located on Route 1 just off of I-95 and just north of the Marine Corps base. They have lots of pampered and well-maintained Corvettes in inventory, and if they don't have what you want, they'll find it. From classic Stingrays to modern-day cars, Cooper is your one-stop shop. And speaking of shops, they service what they sell. And even if you didn't buy a Cooper Corvette, they'll service your Corvette anyway. Become part of the Cooper Corvette family. Call them at 703-445-1483. That's 703-445-1483. And on the web at coopercorvettes.com. That's coopercorvettes.com, American pride and countrywide.
You wouldn't trust your taxes to an uncertified accountant. So why trust your vehicle to an uncertified technician? When you have to take your car into the shop, look for the blue and white ASE sign. That ASE blue seal means the shop employs technicians certified by the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. ASE certification is proof that technicians have the knowledge and experience to fix your vehicle right the first time. For more information on finding an ASE Blue Seal of Excellence facility, visit the website at www.ase.com.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of Turn 5 Live. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are sure to provide you with the very best DJ and photo booth entertainment on the market in the Finger Lakes. Call Stu at 315-481-9700 or CreeksideEntertainmentDJ.com. Book your party or photo booth with Creekside Entertainment today.
This is Jared, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Brad Ovens, Clint Miller here around the round table talking dirt track racing on a Tuesday night. Getting ready to bring in our next guest, and that is none other than the man behind Potter Chassis, Dylan Potter. Dylan, welcome to the show. Part number 2 of the Dylan and Dylan show tonight.
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing great, man. I'm going to start off with an easy question here. We've got Dylan, the car owner, and Dylan, the driver. What do you guys go by in the race shop?
Just Dylan and Dylan, I guess. Nothing real fancy. Can tend to get a little annoying around the track. Someone come walking up behind us, hey, Dylan, we both turn around and look like, what the heck?
You got that right. Let's talk about it, man. You and Dylan team up here toward the end of the 2014 season, and man, it didn't take long for you guys to catch some momentum and turn it into some great runs there at the end of the year.
Yeah, we've always had a good car behind us, and sometimes we lack just a little bit of setup knowledge and a little bit here and there. And Dylan's got that driving style that he's smooth and clean, but still aggressive, and he really knows how to work up through the field too when he's stuck with a bad start. He seems to catch on to what a car is doing quick and be able to give you some feedback and know what to do with the car, and it's kind of a big help being able to get some good notes on what to change next time we go here or there, and it's kind of a little different than what we've had for the last 10 years or so.
And you guys really hit a few different racetracks there toward the end of last year, so you guys will have a little bit of a notebook on just about any kind of track you guys might hit.
Yeah, but really, to be honest, we didn't even change the car at all. The only major change we did to the car was gearing, just for between Woodhall and Black Rock and 5 Mile Point, just a little bit of gear here and there. And other than that, everything else is all the same stuff from every Saturday night at Woodhall for the last 2 years of that car, and not really any major changes.
Now, is that kind of something that you guys just run off of that baseline? Is that kind of how have you built that into the car, or is that just something that you guys have hit on and it seems to work everywhere?
I wouldn't really say I build anything into a car. As far as the people that build these cars for flexing and doing this and doing that, I'm a firm believer in not having a car flex. It just kind of, when you think about all the hours that you put into a car every night in your shop at home, scaling and front end geometries and all this stuff, it just kind of, when you think about it, why are you going to scale your car if you're going to send it out there and have the whole thing flex out and then all your percentages are out the window? I like a car that's a nice, solid baseline, and like Tom Tabor taught me at Alfred State, let the suspension do the work and let the springs and shocks control what you're doing and turn the wheel where you want to go and push a pedal down. That's kind of, I don't know, I'm not really big on that flex theory that some people have.
Well, that's an interesting point too, because I mean, let's face it, we're dirt racers here. We don't have all of the, 7-post technology that a NASCAR team has. So, if you've got a chassis that is going to flex on you, pretty much any information that you have, you throw right out the window.
Yeah, I would think so. It's kind of like many people have told me, and I've actually seen it just from the original car that I built in school to this last car. We both handle really well, and the first car was kind of a trial and error thing. That was the first car I ever built by myself up to college. That was Tom Tabor helped me find basically the original design of the car. Things have changed a little bit since then, but any changes now is just all safety aspects. I try to put as much safety into a car before trying to win races. I'd rather see everybody come home safe on a Saturday or Friday night and be with their family for the rest of the following week instead of laying in a hospital bed somewhere. So.
Absolutely, and there's really no other person. I mean, Tom Tabor. I mean, Tom Tabor. The name Tom Tabor just stands for itself in dirt track, circle track racing in the Northeast and really anywhere he has been. I mean, that's a really cool fact that I didn't know before tonight. But Stephen, I think that says a lot right there for the Potter chassis.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Tom's a very well respected guy in the dirt track world, and Dylan, that is an interesting part. Is that kind of how the idea came to want to start your own chassis business here?
I've always had the interest in building things and everything. Back when I was in shop class in high school, I actually made a little model roll cage thing back when I was about 11, 12 years old, and from home showed it to my dad, and he looked at it and just kind of brushed it off like, yeah, whatever, and living a dream and whatnot. But I actually started trying to drive for a while and started out in go-karts when I was probably about 8, 10 years old, and had real good luck in go-karts, and then moved up to Woodhull's Warrior class back, I don't even remember what year it was that I ran that. Ran a full season in the Warriors and ended up fourth in points. That's actually where I met Dylan Cecce originally. He was a competitor with me and one of the only kids that would actually visit with me, so it was kind of nice to get back to hanging out with him lately. So then after trying to drive for a while, I just didn't really ever take that much of a liking to it, and turned the wheel back over to my dad for a while, and then ended up getting into going to college and built a car up there, and come home, built a couple more, which the first one's the car we're running right now, and that was built brand new in 2011, and the next car was actually the car that Kurt Stebbins is running right now, and it kind of slowed up for a while, and then lately, the last year and a half, things kind of picked up a little bit. I got working on the 9th car right now for Street Stocks. I got 8 others out there. Just kind of come into it, I guess. I didn't really plan on it, and I went to college and originally wanted to move south afterwards and get into a NASCAR team, and I had options of being able to go and get onto a team, but the more I went down 2 or 3 times to look around to the shops and get the feel of things, and I didn't really care for the flow of things down there. I'm just too stuck in my roots here in Pennsylvania, and now I got a family and a wife here in May coming up. I like the area too much. I couldn't leave family, so I just stuck around, and I'm here where I am today.
Now, Dylan. Okay, go ahead, Steve.
Oh, go ahead, Clint. You got it.
I know we're probably going to have you on another segment here, but now I know that you've got a bunch of street stocks out. Are you still building 4-cylinder chassis as well? I know you mentioned, the Warrior class, and it's kind of where you got your beginning. So is that something you're going to do, continue to do?
I can build street stocks, front-wheel drive cars, the rear-wheel drive mini stocks. I actually just built one rear-wheel drive mini stock that's going to be running down to Chemung this year. But I think that left in October. that was just a parts car. I had a Mustang GT restored for my own personal car, and that was a parts car that I bought that just been laying around. They tried to sell it, nobody wanted to. I was trying to give it away at one time, and nobody wanted it, and I just said the heck with it and started building a race car out of it. And that ended up going to Stan Matthews is his name. He's going to be running that down to Chemung. So I know of one more front-wheel drive car I got to build coming up here in the next few weeks. And then I've got, I think, 3 other front-wheel drive cars I've just built this fall.
We'll have more with Dylan Potter from Potter Chassis here on Turn 5 Live right after this break. You're listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network.
On the other side of the break, more coverage and discussion from the dirt tracks. Stay tuned to Turn 5 Live.
Motorsports sales professionals. Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated's Performance Motorsports Network is looking to build a team of experienced media sales professionals to represent our motorsports programming to the industry's top companies, magazines, and racing series. If you have motorsports sales or marketing experience, know how to work with agencies, understand social media, and are incredibly creative when it comes to working with clients and promotions, then we want to hear from you. Top performers are richly rewarded. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444 or email Sue at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. That's 717-749-0444 or email Sue at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, I'm Melissa Etheridge for RAD, recording artist against drunk driving. Your lifestyle is your business, but when you drive drunk, you become everyone's business. Don't drink and drive. Be responsible. Choose a designated driver. Music lives, and so should you. Please, don't drink and drive.
Ever hire, never quit. Lofty goals in this age of shoddy quality, corporate indifference, and built-in obsolescence. It's a beacon of light in a crowded field of mediocrity. The way a company is run is an indication of how you, the customer, is going to be treated. You have a lot of choices when you're searching for auto and performance parts online and at the corner parts store. So why should you buy from Excelsior Racing? Because they're simply the best online parts supplier in the business. If you're looking for selection, ease of ordering, cost, and prompt delivery, look no further. If you have a question, our customer service hotline, staffed by knowledgeable gearheads like you, will ensure that you get what you need to fix or mod your car or truck. With 1,000 suppliers, you're guaranteed to get what you need. First time, every time. Excelsior Racing. Excellence on the track. Excellence on the road. Excellence in customer service. Online at ExcelsiorRacing.com or call 502-909-2034.
How would you like to win a brand new Corvette? Larry O's got all the details.
Enter America's #1 dream car giveaway contest at winyournewcar.com. That's right, winyournewcar.com. Complete the puzzle the fastest and win a new Corvette tax-free delivered to your door. Come on, stop dreaming and start driving with winyournewcar.com.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
So you finally arrived at the sweet spot in your life. The kids are raised and gone. You have free time, and it's finally time to do something for you. If you've ever considered owning a Corvette but have been putting it off for years, now is the time to act. Isn't this the time to finally get that Corvette you always wanted and drooled and dreamed over? Well, grab the little lady by the hand and take her to Cooper Corvettes. They're conveniently located on Route 1 just off of I-95 and just north of the Marine Corps base. They have lots of pampered and well-maintained Corvettes in inventory, and if they don't have what you want, they'll find it. From classic Stingrays to modern-day cars, Cooper is your one-stop shop. And speaking of shops, they service what they sell. And even if you didn't buy a Cooper Corvette, they'll service your Corvette anyway. Become part of the Cooper Corvette family. Call them at 703-445-1483. That's 703-445-1483. And on the web at coopercorvettes.com. That's coopercorvettes.com, American pride and countrywide.
You wouldn't trust your taxes to an uncertified accountant, so why trust your vehicle to an uncertified technician? When you have to take your car into the shop, look for the blue and white ASE sign. That ASE blue seal means the shop employs technicians certified by the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. ASE certification is proof that technicians have the knowledge and experience to fix your vehicle right the first time. For more information on finding an ASE Blue Seal of Excellence facility, visit the website at www.ase.com.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of Turn 5 Live. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are sure to provide you with the very best DJ and photo booth entertainment on the market in the Finger Lakes. Call Stu at 315-481-9700 or CreeksideEntertainmentDJ.com. Book your party or photo booth with Creekside Entertainment today.
This is Rich Sharpstein, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Talking street stock chassis building with Dylan Potter from Potter Chassis. And, Dylan, you talk about, we had Dylan Cecce on in the previous segment, and one thing that he talked about was sitting down into that Potter chassis and racing on the dirt, having that forward bite and still being able to turn on tracks that slick off and just gives them a real challenge. I mean, is there anything that you feel like you can point to that allows him to do that driving your car?
Mainly just the setup. A lot to do with here a little bit before Cecce started driving our car. We actually got to thank the Petrobowski family for a little bit of help that we got from them, and Terry Petrobowski has been a big help to me. He purchased an asphalt car last winter about this time and used, and it's been very helpful. It's mostly just springs and spring rates, the biggest things we changed in our car this year, and really made a huge improvement. And just knowing where to put your weights and what kind of percentages to put in your cars, the main thing I could think that was allowing him to be able to keep his forward drive and still be able to turn through the corner from center off. And it's really a big help finding out some of the little things that we've come across on the car this year.
Well, you guys have taken this car from bare frame to bare chassis in just about 2.5 weeks. I just happened to notice that you guys got a couple photos up of the progress on the car. You guys really got to work on this one, not wasting any time.
Yeah, it's gets easier as you do them. Everything kind of falls into place once you start getting going and get the initial 4 bars up, and then everything else is just kind of quick after that. This car here, we're just waiting on the seat to show up tomorrow night, and we can get Dylan fitted in and get the car built to him. That's the big thing that I always like to do. I don't like to build a kit car that everything is all identical and then try to build the driver into the car. I build a car around the driver and make the driver as comfortable as possible. That way when he's out there running on the tracks Friday, Saturday night, whenever feel like you're just sitting at home in your recliner just watching TV or something, it just feels natural to you. It kind of makes your job that much easier when you enjoy it.
I don't know about you guys, but that sounds good to me. Oh, go ahead, Clint.
Dylan, I was just, sitting here thinking and listening to you guys talk, and I know that you guys, well, I guess I don't know for sure, but I had heard through the grapevine that you were building a separate car like you're going to run for the ROC series as opposed to a weekly track. Is that something that you're doing? And if so, what's different in the tour car than opposed to your home track car?
Well, that's kind of changed lately. I think we're building this new car right now. It was the intent of running the ROC series with Cecce driving, and it's just the only difference between this car and the car we've been driving is Heim shocks on all four corners and jack and bolts on all four corners. And after here lately of Woodhull's purse increase and everything, we been kind of rethinking on where we're going to run, and it's a little closer and easier on traveling wise. So I think we might actually be taking this car more full time to Woodhull instead of making more of a travel effort. And if the pay seems to work and stay, I might even see two cars there on a weekly basis from time to time from my garage. So it's kind of one thing that we were initially intending on running the ROC, but now with that, I think it's switched back to Woodhull full time.
Well, we certainly wish you guys a lot of luck. I know that announcement this week from Woodhull really changed things for a lot of guys, but we certainly appreciate you taking some time to talk to us about that and putting these chassis together. And, I know it takes, a good group of folks behind you, and we'll give you a chance to talk about those guys.
Yeah, Dylan Cecce's been a real big help lately, and he's good to hang out with in the garage. Then my dad's the next big help with working right out beside me in the garage just about every single night. My fiance, my daughter, they put up with everything I do in the garage, and all my family. Anybody that's come around and bought cars off of me, and any friends and family that put a roll in, it's a big help.
Well, we again wish you a lot of luck out there at Woodhull, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us tonight, Dylan.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's Dylan Potter from Potter Chassis, and Clint. That's a team right there that when they go to Woodhull, that's going to be a team to reckon with.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I saw them one of the last races they ran over there last year on a really slick track, and Dylan drove it up to fourth place. So it's I mean, especially building a new car, they'll get some wins this year, challenge for a championship, no doubt.
Well, Clint, while we have a quick second here, let's get an update from Yuma, Arizona for the winter heat. Give us the heat race winners you got so far. I got Steve Kinzer winning heat race 1. Let's see here. Kinzer won heat race 1, and I don't know. I lost my train of thought here. I know Craig Delansky got heat number 3, and that's what we've got from Yuma, Arizona. Want to thank Dylan Cecce and Dylan Potter for joining the show. Clint, we've got a second here. We'll find the winner of heat race number 2. But
Henry Van Dam.
Yep, there you go.
Heat win number 2, Henry Van Dam.
There we go.
Over
right.
Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson third in heat number 2.
So sounds like some good racing again out there tonight for night number 3 of the winter heat. Clint, let's go back to the results from heat number 3. Got some of our local guys in there.
Yeah, Jacob Allen with a nice third place run. Ran there the whole race, and Logan Schuhart ran 5th the whole race. So depending on how many heats they are, they both may go on to the A main.
Earlier in the show we talked about the maturation process for Jacob Allen. I got to imagine 5 nights at the same racetrack is going to be really helpful for him as they get ready to close out winter heat.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, it's already showed. I think he made the A main night 2. Obviously, he's got a good car going here on night 3. He was putting up really good lap times. Nobody could run with Delansky. He was in a different zip code, but he was real quick, and he was in third all by himself. So good things.
Absolutely. Well, again, we want to thank all of our guests that were on the show tonight. Dylan Cecce, Dylan Potter from Potter Chassis, talking to us about their plans for the 2015 season. I want to thank Dan Harpell for his calling us up and letting us know what he could at this point about what's going on. And again, he will be addressing the crowd at the banquet on January 30th down there at the Holiday Inn in Elmira. So be sure to get your tickets for that. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. We'll have everybody back in studio. I'll be back from the Steel City, but until then, Clint and Brad, have yourselves a great week. Race fans, thank you for tuning in here on PMN. You've been listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Turn 5 Live is a copyrighted production of the Performance Motorsports Network. PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com is a member of the Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of PMN. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, co-host, and guest, and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either the Performance Motorsports Network or Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated, the advertisers, or marketing partners.